Hey guys, what's up? Emo Cat Dad here, hanging out with you, bringing you yet another edition of Emo Cat Dad Listens. If you're new here, then first off, thank you so much for stopping by. What it is I do here is every day of 2024, I vow to check out a new band or artist. I check out 4 songs from across their discography, give you my initial thoughts on those songs, give you my ranking of the songs, and then, of course, close it off by giving you my overall thoughts on the artist based on what I just heard. As you can see right there, today's artist is VRSTY. This was a suggestion from one of you kind viewers, so please keep those suggestions coming. Hit up the comments right now. Give me bands or artists you think I should absolutely check out so I can get to them on a future episode of this. We're approaching the end of May, which means we're approaching the halfway point of the year, which is great. That means I've done half that I need to. Still a lot more to go. So, I hope you stick around for the ride, so hit that subscribe button. I normally say this at the end, but, I'll say it now in case you don't make it to the end. If you're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, I'm not going to watch the rest of this video. But then why would you hit subscribe? It doesn't cost you anything, dummy. Just do what I say. No one gets hurt. Anyways, without any further ado, let's dive into VRSTY. So what do I know about VRSTY going into this? I actually have heard the name quite a bit, but I don't really know what genre they play in. I kind of had always assumed they were in the Driveways mold, where they're like kind of pop punk, kind of not. But from looking at the profile picture on Spotify here, I'm now going to say that this is a more post-hardcore band, more in the metalcore realm. But I guess we're gonna find out together. So I'm already gonna be surprised. I know that. Right, so it looks like the band has released 4 full-length albums. The first full-length doesn't seem to have really taken off, but some of their most popular songs are off an EP they released after their second album, so we're going to go tracks off their second, third, and fourth albums as well as that EP. So starting with the first of those albums, it's Black. I checked out the track Colorblind. Alright, so I love the soulful, clean vocals that VRSTY has on this track, and they contrast well with the uncleans that pop out throughout. The lyrics, if I'm being honest, aren't anything special, and really neither is the music. It's stuff that I've heard before, but given that this is an earlier release from a younger band, I'm not going to hold that too much against them. And it still sounds really good. It's just I've heard it before. Alright, moving on to their most streamed song, Shameless, off the Cloud City EP. Wow. Okay, so I love this bass tone. So they've already moved on from the music I've heard a million times before. So kudos to that. The chorus is extremely catchy here. No complaints whatsoever about that. If I had to give a minor complaint, I guess it's that I missed the uncleans a little bit. I thought the cleans and uncleans worked really well in contrast to each other on the last track. This one, we basically just get it as a background vocal, and it's very sparingly. Moving on to their Welcome Home album, I checked out the track Closer. Okay, so this track definitely wasn't my favorite. There's lots of repeating lyrics. I think everything except the first verse and the bridge had repeating lyrics in it, which I don't like, especially when they use it as a hook, and that's kind of what this track did with the chorus. That bridge, though, that I just mentioned, that part going into the breakdown was honestly my favorite section of the song. It ruled. And honestly, if I'm being honest, the melody overall was pretty infectious. So they had that working for it. It was really just the lyrics that held it back for me. And we made it to their most recent album, Levitate, released last year. I checked out the first single from that album, Fuck You Forever. Not you, viewer. That's the name of the song. Okay, so lyrically, this is probably the best song out of the 4 tracks that I've heard. So that's good that we've gotten from the point of on the first track being like lyrically there's nothing special to solid lyricism on the last track. So it was nice to see that growth. And honestly, the best part lyrically is once again the best part of the song. And it's once again the bridge. It was fantastic. I'm a big bridge guy. I love me a nice bridge, and VRSTY clearly knows how to do one with these last two tracks. Alright, so those are 4 tracks I checked out. Let's go ahead and rank them. At number 1, I'm going to put Shameless. This was the best chorus. This had the most memorable musical part with that cool bass tone that was throughout. So it was going to be hard to beat that once I heard it, and no track was able to. At 2, I'm going the new track, Fuck You Forever. Still really dug this track overall. I had no complaints about it. Musically, it still did some interesting things with some production elements. The part they distort the post-chorus, basically, was really cool. And that bridge was excellente. At 3, we're going Colorblind, off the album Black, which I just correlated that together. That's funny. But this really set it up to be a good picture of what the band would be going forward. Unfortunately, they got away from the Uncleans. I'd love to see that make a return, even if it's not like a 50-50 split, or even like a 75-25 split like they had on this track. But if we just work it in a little bit, you know, like a 90-10, that'd be cool, right? And at 4, Closer. No shade to the song overall. It was just that repeating lyrics that I was like, oh, that's not my favorite. So it definitely held it back when compared to all these other songs, which I had either no complaints or very minimal complaints, like there's not enough unclean vocals for my liking. I would overall still listen to the song on a regular basis. It's just definitely the weakest link of these 4. Alright, so that was my thoughts on these tracks. What are my overall thoughts on VRSTY, the band? Well, going in, I thought this was a pop-punk band. That's clearly not the case. They definitely are like a post-hardcore / heavy pop band in the vein of Issues and the Home Team. I dig the vocals. The lyricism has taken a big jump forward, so I'm excited to see where they go from here. And musically, they've started experimenting with cool things. The production elements on all these tracks were pretty solid after the first, so I'm hoping that that continues. But this is a young band. I'm excited to see where they go next. I'm expecting big things from them. I think they're going to break through because they have such a solid sound that I think with a couple tweaks, they can put themselves above the rest of the pack in the genre, and it'd be cool to see. Alright guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm your friendly neighborhood Emo Cat Dad. Appreciate you making it to the very end of this video, unlike those other people that bailed after I called them dummies. Hope you enjoyed this video on VRSTY. Please leave me your thoughts below in the comments on the band VRSTY, on the post-hardcore genre, on heavy pop bands, whatever you want to talk about. Let's have a conversation. Be sure to give me your favorite VRSTY songs in the comments so I can check them out at a later date. I think this band is going to do big things in the future, so I'm definitely going to need to dive into their back catalog a little bit more. As always, go check out the previous videos if you just stumbled upon this. This is 140 something, so there's a lot to go back on if you so choose. If you choose not to, that's cool. Just stick along for the ride. Give me your suggestions below. And the best way to remember to come back and check out when I do your suggestions is if you simply cut my wrist and hit subscribe. Emo Cat Dad signing off for now, but until tomorrow, I want to hear you sad.